All right, so going to begin the meeting. Due to public health issues arising from the coronavirus situation, the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders will conduct this meeting remotely via a conference call. Callers are invited to listen and will have an opportunity to make comments by calling 973-310-7191. This is a special Sussex County Freeholder meeting of August 20th, 2020 at 9 a.m. via conference call. I would like to call this meeting to order. Susie, would you please call the roll?
Sure. So Freeholder Fantasia is absent. Freeholder Falzano?
Here.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Here.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Here.
Freeholder Yardley?
Here.
Okay, would you please join with me and please stand for a moment of silence? And please join with us in a salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, the Republic,
which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, liberty for all.
Thank you very much. I'll start with number 4, our public statements. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975, has been made by regular mail, such notice being submitted on August 18th, 2020 from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald, New Jersey Sunday Herald, Star Ledger, WSUS Radio, WNNJ Radio, and is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act. At this time, could I please have a motion to approve this morning's agenda?
So moved, Hertzberg.
Second, please.
Second by Yardley.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we're going directly to public session from the floor, but before we go there, I am just going to ask our Administrator, Greg Puff, to just give a short briefing on why we are having this special meeting.
Yes, thank you, Director. And I thank the board for being able to accommodate this special meeting. As the board is aware, the county is in receipt of a memorandum of agreement from the state of New Jersey to provide resources to continue and expand upon the testing that the county has been engaged in during the pandemic. There was a first memorandum of agreement that was received last week and subsequently supplemented with a revised memorandum of agreement that the county received on Monday. After having received that, I prepared a brief summary and distributed to the board the highlights of what the revised memorandum of agreement entails, and had requested that the board consider holding this special meeting in order to comply with the state's request to have the memorandum of agreement considered no later than this morning. And so that is where we find ourselves here today. I know the Freeholder Director has some prepared statements that will provide details in terms of what the memorandum of agreement provides specifically, but just simply to state that this allocation will allow the county to resume and build upon its testing capacities for its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, with this time, we're going to go to the public session from the floor. For anyone that has called in, we have 2 different public sessions. The first one pertains only to agenda items. And before we open this session, we ask that callers who want to make a comment to first state their name and municipality. Then the clerk will create a roster and call each name in the order it was received. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less. May I please have a motion to open public session?
I'll
So
make the
moved,
motion.
Hertzberg.
Second,
Okay,
Yardley.
second, please. Yardley, all
Yardley.
in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Wait, excuse me one
Okay.
second. Who opened the public?
Josh Hertzberg.
Josh
Josh.
Hertzberg.
And Herb second.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the public session is open. Is there anyone that is on our conference call that would like to speak on items on the agenda, which would be the approval of the MOA? Please state your name and your municipality. Just say it. Okay, since I don't hear anything, could I please have a motion to close public session?
Motion to close, Hertzberg.
Second?
Yardley. Second.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, number 10, I would like to begin with the freeholder comments. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to begin only because I want to give a little timeline of how this happened and a little information about this MOA, what it's about. So if you don't mind, I'll just start. In April, Sussex County was informed that they would not receive any money from the first round of stimulus funding that was allocated through the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Immediately, the freeholders began to question why a traditional formula was even used for eligibility, a formula that everyone knew made it impossible for Sussex County and other counties to qualify. The members of this board raised their voices and began advocating for fairness in the process, a more equitable manner of allocating funds, and money for Sussex County. Now I just want to give a short timeline of what happened. On August 9th, the state provided Sussex County coronavirus relief funds and an MOA, which is the first MOA, that provided funds to support the county's continued testing efforts and eligible coronavirus relief funds expenditures already identified. The first MOA also outlined various New Jersey OEM county obligations related to funding, reporting, and testing. The total amount the state offered in the first MOA was $969,969. On August 12th, a meeting was held with the county's emergency preparedness team and Office of Emergency Management to review and to comment on MOA 1. On August 17th, the state issued the Coronavirus Relief Funds MOA 2. This MOA replaced the MOA 1 issued on August 9th and provided an additional $839,032 through a population-adjusted grant. The total amount offered in MOA 2 is now $1,809,001. Some of the terms of MOA 2 required the county to participate in a county-wide testing task force, to provide appropriate storage space for personal protective equipment. It allows the county to submit their own COVID-19 testing plan for approval to the New Jersey Department of Health. It also allows the county to conduct COVID-19 testing operations in accordance with the approved testing plan. We will have access to testing our county residents and people who work in the county. It gives Sussex County the ability to operate mobile, at-home, or walk-up test options for vulnerable populations that have trouble accessing the county test site. And the reimbursement of eligible expenses runs through June 30th, 2021. Then on August 17th, the New Jersey Association of Counties hosted a 10 a.m. video conference with the 12 counties that were eligible for this money that hadn't received any previous funds to review questions about the MOA 1. On August 17th, the New Jersey Association of Counties hosted a 3 p.m. video conference with the 12 counties with Mike Delamata and Dan Kelly from the state to review MOA 2. Then on August 17th, our BA, Greg Puff, sent the MOA 2 to the Freeholder Board for review. So that is our timeline. I'd like to now turn it over to Freeholder Anthony Fasano.
Thank you, Sylvia, and thank you for going through the details on that. And good morning to everyone. Thank you all for joining us for this unique early morning Freeholder meeting. As Sylvia mentioned, on our agenda today, you'll find a resolution authorizing the Freeholder Board to accept the Memorandum of Agreement between Sussex County and the State of New Jersey. And under this agreement, as Sylvia mentioned, Sussex County will receive funding for a portion of past and future COVID-19 expenses. The total of these funds are approximately $1.8 million, and it will go toward assisting Sussex County with COVID-19 testing, the testing of vulnerable populations in Sussex County, and the reimbursement of previous COVID-19 related expenditures. As you know, Sussex County has been fighting tirelessly for federal dollars that our county needs and deserves to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. This agreement is important to Sussex County for 2 reasons. First, it gives us the ability to prepare for whatever this pandemic holds in the cooler months ahead. And just as importantly, it helps offset the cost of the county's efforts, which is crucial for our taxpayers and the short-term fiscal outlook of the county. I want to be clear that this agreement is an important step forward for us, but by no means does it reflect a conclusion. It reflects a check mark next to one need on a long list of many that we have here in Sussex County. While short-term funding for testing is provided in this agreement, New Jersey is still largely ignoring the impact this pandemic has had on Sussex County residents, businesses, and schools who are just as affected by this pandemic, but have not been provided the funding that has been provided to other areas of our state to address it. There are some counties here in New Jersey that are so plush with federal aid that they are offering their own county business assistance programs with that funding. Sussex County, meanwhile, is fighting to be reimbursed for costs it has already incurred. There is something very wrong with that, and we'll continue to fight to address it and continue to fight for the resources to combat this virus and protect our residents. But for now, it's one day at a time. This agreement does help us with our short-term needs, and I certainly appreciate the work that it took on our end here in Sussex County to make it happen. So thank you, Sylvia, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, Freeholder Herb Yardley.
I think this is a great opportunity for reimbursement for the funds that we have put out and some additional funding that the the governor has deemed to give us. I think that his inability to really look at what we are doing, the other counties that are involved in this, and the funding that we need, and we've been neglected and not responding to correspondence as to why it has taken so long to get this amount of money when other states have gotten millions of dollars. And to follow up with what Anthony has said, we have counties that are able to give their businesses funding where Sussex County does not have that ability. That to me is disappointing. But I believe that this is a first step in making Sussex County whole, and it's the first step in providing funding that we will need till the end of the year. So I am in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. Freeholder Josh Hertzberg.
Thank you, Sylvia. You know, time after time and incident after incident during this whole thing, I find myself wondering, you know, how much of this is calculated and how much of this is incompetence. And it's frustrating when those decisions are affecting the people that we're sworn to protect so negatively, and letter after letter, fight after fight, you know, you guys, my colleagues, you know, fighting for what we think the people of our county deserve. And you wonder, you know, why were the counties left out that were left out? And why was it a fight to get what the federal government passed down, earmarked for us to be able to provide services for our people. And then the first, as was explained earlier, there was a first letter that had to be redone when the funding that was sent down couldn't even cover the cost of the requirements to accept the money. Was that calculated or was that incompetence? I don't know. I don't have the answer. But I'm glad that we finally are receiving some funding and we're going to be able to provide the services that the residents of Sussex County deserve. But I want to make clear, because there's been some concern about some of the requirements within the memorandum, that we will not be violating anyone in Sussex County's rights, constitutional rights, or their security and their safety and their privacy. So I just want to make sure that people understand, we know better. So I do agree with taking the money. We need it. Our people need it. The taxpayers need it. I certainly don't want to pass this cost down to them. So I agree. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would just like to add my own feelings on this. As time went on, I wasn't sure we would receive any funding at all. And it really seemed like the freeholders were fighting one battle after another, and our pleas for financial funding just went unheard. So I'm very grateful and pleasantly surprised that this offer was made at all. And I would like to thank all of our representatives that stood with us for this fight. I want to thank the New Jersey Association of Counties that advocated for the 12 counties. There's 12 counties involved that did not receive any direct funding. And again, I'm glad that the state was able to provide the additional population adjustment grant, which lifted us up over another $800,000 in that MOA too. This funding will greatly improve our ability to test our residents. So please stay tuned, everyone, for more information about the Sussex County testing plan that will be forthcoming. So right now, I would like to go to
Sylvia, Sylvia, can I say one more thing? I'm sorry.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little excited and I forget the important points I want to make. So the one point I want to make is, everyone saw and heard us making a lot of noise. That's our job, to advocate. You saw a lot of politicians raising their hand, saying, oh, I did this. I got this for you. I did this. Don't believe any of that. The only reason we got this money is because you found out what was happening, because the voters, the people of this county knew. That money is because your voices were heard, and they know that your voices will be heard in November. So you guys have the power. We just make sure that you understand what's going on so that you can make these things happen. That's all I want to say. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. That's correct. That's a correct statement, because we had a lot of support from the community, from our Chamber of Commerce, from our business group. Everyone was in support of us receiving some type of funding. And like I said in the beginning, it just didn't matter how many letters we wrote, how many venues we spoke out, how much noise we made. We just couldn't seem to get our voices heard. So that is very true. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, then I'd like to go to 14 to resolutions. This resolution is the authorization for the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to approve memorandum of agreement between New Jersey Office of Emergency Management and New Jersey Department of Health and County of Sussex for funding COVID-19 testing and reimbursement of existing COVID-19 expenses. May I please have a motion to adopt resolution 14A?
So moved. Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. Is there a second?
Second, Hertzberg.
Is there any more discussion? Not hearing any. Susie, would you call the vote, please?
Sure. Freeholder Fasano?
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley?
Yes.
Okay, then it passes. Thank you very much. Let's move on to 21, to new business. We have a letter that has been prepared for our response to Tropical Storm Isaias, and if there's no other comments, we can send this letter out. I'm going to read the letter. Dear President Fioro d'Aliso. We write to you on the heels of Tropical Storm Isaias, which caused widespread power outages for now nearly 1.5 million residents across New Jersey, including over 19,000 outages in Sussex County. We understand and are aware of the challenges in making these repairs. However, we are very concerned that many of our residents waited up to a week for the restoration of power during one of the hottest summers in recent history. We also have concerns about how our residents were communicated with during this critical time, specifically the timeliness of accurate information being provided. This is one of several storms over the past several years that has caused widespread power outages throughout the state and in Sussex County. The response that many of our residents have to endure for the days following these storms cannot be acceptable. There has to be accountability from utility companies who must ensure that plans are put in place to prevent these mass power outages from occurring again. Sussex County was greatly impacted by the high winds and heavy rains that accompany Tropical Storm Isaias. We applaud their hard work and appreciate the efforts of those who worked day and night in Sussex County to restore power to those affected by outages. We recognize that we are all working together toward ensuring the health and safety of our fellow residents. However, we must also recognize that these events are unavoidable, which is why we believe it's so important to ask for accountability and responsiveness from the utilities operating in the state. We ask of you that JCP&L and the entire Board of Public Utilities take swift action to require utility companies in the state to create emergency response plans to ensure fast and effective responses to storm-related outages. Further, it is critical that utilities begin to take proactive actions that will help prevent any disruption of service in the first place. Finally, we ask that the Board of Public Utilities require the implementation of emergency communication plans so that residents of our state and our county are informed of power outages, updates, and other critical information in a timely manner. In closing, we are extremely grateful for the hard work of all those who work diligently in challenging conditions to restore outages in our community. But on the behalf of our residents, we must demand more accountability, responsiveness, and resources from utility companies that service Sussex County. Thank you for your time and attention in this matter. Is there anyone that has any other comments for that letter?
Yes, Sylvia, I do.
Thank you.
Just as a little side note, last Saturday, half of Stillwater was without power again. And I know we're talking about a storm, but this is a chronic condition that seems to happen in the county. As I recall, the Board of Utilities allowed JCP&L, or the Ohio power company that owns JCP&L, to have a increase and to include $11 million, and my numbers could be off, so that they could install special switches, so they could install and clear the trees and make sure that this doesn't happen, or at least it's not as severe, and we have a quick return to electricity. We need to have some accounting on this. I am proud to support this letter, and I really am disappointed that this is a chronic problem in Sussex County that was supposed to have been resolved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Herb. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on that correspondence? Okay, then the letter is acceptable, and I will be sending that out. So now we're at 22, which is the second public session from the floor, and this is for general comments on anything. And once again, before we open this session, we ask that callers wanting to make a comment to first state your name and your municipality. Then the clerk will create a roster and will call each name in the order received. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less. May I have a motion to open public session, please?
So moved, Hertzberg.
Thanks, Herb. Second?
Second, Yardley.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, the public session is open. If there is anyone from the public on this phone call that would like to speak, please just state your name and municipality. Not hearing any, could I please have a motion to close public session?
Motion to close, Hertzberg.
Second? Can I have a second,
Yardley,
please?
second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. We do not have any more reminders. Before we close, I just want to thank everyone that is on this call and thank the freeholders for all of their work, which really pushed and enabled us to move this along. So can I please have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Hertzberg.
A second?
Yardley, second.
Thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you so much, and have a good day. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.